On the busiest corner of Madison Avenue, where yellow taxis honk like restless birds and glass buildings reflected dreams too big to count, sat an old beggar named Samuel. People passed him every day, lawyers in sharp suits, students glued to their phones, tourists chasing photos, and executives chasing time. To most of them, Samuel was invisible, just another shadow against the concrete. Samuel sat on a folded piece of cardboard with a small tin cup beside him. The cup carried a handwritten note in shaky letters. "Anything helps. God bless." Coins dropped in now and then, mostly out of habit, sometimes out of pity. Samuel accepted them quietly, nodding his head with a soft smile. But inside, his heart was heavy. He believed life had already decided his fate. "This is all I am," he often thought. A beggar. Forgotten. Years earlier, Samuel had not been poor. He once worked as a carpenter in Ohio, skilled with his hands and proud of his work. But after his wife passed away from illness and his workshop burned down in an accident, he lost more than money, he lost hope. One bad decision led to another. He drifted, stopped believing in himself, and eventually landed on the streets of New York. One cold afternoon, as Samuel sat shivering in his thin coat, a young woman stopped in front of him. She didn't drop a coin right away. Instead, she looked carefully at the sign, then at Samuel's face. "What's your name?" she asked gently. Samuel looked up, surprised. "Samuel," he replied. "I'm Clara," she said with a warm smile. She pulled a marker from her bag. "May I change your sign?" Samuel frowned. "Change it? Why?" "Just trust me," she said. Samuel hesitated, then nodded. Clara flipped the cardboard over and wrote something new. She placed it back in front of him, smiled again, and walked away without another word. Samuel leaned forward to read the new message. "It's a beautiful day, but I can't see it." He didn't understand why those words mattered. But within an hour, something strange happened. People began to stop, not just passing coins, stopping. Some looked at the sign and sighed. Others knelt, placed bills instead of coins, and patted his shoulder. A man in a business suit sat beside him for a moment and said, "I hope your day gets better, sir." By evening, Samuel's cup was heavier than it had been in weeks. The next day, Clara returned. "What did you do?" Samuel asked, amazed. "I didn't change your situation," Clara said. "I changed the way people saw it." Samuel stared at the sign, then at Clara. "So, words matter. Mindset matters," she replied. "How you see yourself shapes how the world responds to you." That night, Samuel couldn't sleep. For the first time in years, his mind felt awake. He kept repeating Clara's words, "Mindset matters." The following morning, Samuel made a small decision. Instead of sitting slouched with his head down, he sat upright. He cleaned his beard as best he could and wiped the dirt from his coat. When people passed, he looked at them, not begging, but acknowledging. A week later, an elderly man stopped and asked, "Can you work?" Samuel's heart raced. "Yes," he said quickly. "I was a carpenter." The man smiled. "I run a small furniture repair shop. Come by tomorrow." Samuel showed up early. He worked hard, even when his hands hurt. He listened, learned, and stayed late. The pay was small, but the dignity was priceless. For the first time in years, Samuel felt useful. Months passed. Samuel saved carefully. He moved into a small rented room. He replaced his cardboard sign with a tool belt. One afternoon, as Samuel closed the shop, he saw Clara standing across the street. "You changed my life," he told her. She shook her head. "No, Samuel, you did. I only showed you a mirror." Samuel thought about that as he walked home. He realized something powerful. His life hadn't changed the day he earned money, it changed the day he changed his thinking. Years later, Samuel owned the repair shop. He hired people who needed second chances, ex-prisoners, homeless veterans, struggling immigrants. On the shop wall, he framed an old piece of cardboard with faded ink. "It's a beautiful day, but I can't see it." Whenever someone asked about it, Samuel smiled and said, "That sign didn't change the world. It changed my mindset, and that changed everything." Moral of the story: your circumstances don't define your future, your mindset does. Change the way you think, and life will respond in ways you never imagined.